Hi, good evening. I'm Brownie Lofton. And you know what? I wanted to come to you this evening on a very important issue of the Trayvon matter over in Florida. Well, I just received a phone call from my brother in law. I call him Uncle Duck. Everyone knows him in Altadena. But I just received a phone call from him that he made so much sense to, and his validity of his issue and concerns. I mean, it just really inspired me and touched me. And I told him, you know what, Uncle Duck, I am going on YouTube with this, and I want to know and to receive a response from any and all, especially those who we're talking about. Well, in 1960, early 60s, Martin Luther King, he marched, right? Okay. Martin Luther King marched. He had Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, amongst others, you know, so many that followed and marched with him for civil rights and the movement of. Well, little young Trayvon has been brutally murdered, and here is Jesse Jackson. Here is Al Sharpton. Here are others that are amongst the group of them marching as well. In, like, hey, we're going to fight and we need to stand strong on this. What are you guys going to do about this situation? Okay, the phone call I just received from Uncle Duck. He said, Bear, where was them motherfuckers? Oh, oops, I'm sorry, excuse me. But that's what he said. He said, where was them MNFers like Spike Lee, like 50 Cent, like Denzel, like, um, you know, let's say those that are in Atlanta, the Tyler Perrys, all these Jay-Z's and all these people who are black, strong, educated, who has voice and opinion. Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Ice-T, Samuel L. Jackson. Where are you? Where were you all as far as your marching and standing strong and behind this young man? This was a young kid who could have been even my child. Unfortunately, I never had any sons, but just think if I would have had a son and if Trayvon would have been my son. Man, I would want everybody in the whole wide world to back me up and rock with me and march with me and just voice and say, hey, we need to stop this. Whether it's this land, your land, my land, the land, it needs to stop. Okay, now, where were you? Where were you? Uncle Duck wants to know that. And you know what? I am curious to know too. Where were you on that evening and that day of the march that you could have been one of the ones of the elite influentials? I know I speak my voice and I speak what I feel that's right. And so I'm sure you too. And, coming back to Spike Lee, I know you might want to be in the backdrop of this because of what has come and transpired during these times with you. But please, honey, do not fall off. Don't fall off of what you're doing, because you know what? If you wouldn't have started shaking, then there's others who may have not started shaking. But you know what? There are you all out there. I'm one of, well, I don't call myself the little people, but I'm one that I don't have the money, and if you really want to say that's one of the little peoples, then hey, but I do have voice, I do have word, I do have opinions, and I do want to know as well as Uncle Duck want to know, where were you? Russell Simmons, where were you? Mr. Jay-Z? Where were you, P. Diddy? Where were you? Where was your feet on that day where you can be able to march? Where were you along the road? Thank you. And these are just my opinions, and also coming from Uncle Duck. He wants to know. I want to know too. Where were you? Thank you. And good night.